Call this meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first time of business is the approval of the minutes of the regular board meeting April 14th. We've all had a chance to take a look at them. I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the minutes of April 14th, 2025.
I'll second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the meeting of the regular board meeting April 14th. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item of business are the monthly transactions. Approval of general fund vouchers 82,265 through 82,344, and wire transfers 2025-0361 through 2025-0400.
I move to approve general fund vouchers and wire transfers as read.
I'll second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the general fund and wire transfers. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. No one is here for the public comment. We'll move on to our board business. First item of business is the annual reorganization of the board and election of the officers. So we do this every year. I suppose we'll start with the president. Does anybody want to be president? I'll open up for a nomination for the president.
I nominate Greg.
Second.
I will accept. Thank you, you guys. The next nomination we're looking for is the vice president, right? Do we have a vice president?
Yeah.
Who runs the meeting?
Christy, do you want to be vice president?
Yes, I will be vice president.
All right, so
Obviously, I need to do it another year so you remember I'm here.
I nominate Christie for vice president.
Science math.
all right, Christy, you are vice president. Next one's what? Clerk? Clerk? Do you want to continue being clerk?
I believe Nettie would like to do it.
I would like to be clerk for a year.
And I'm okay if she wants to.
I nominate Nettie to be clerk.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, that'll work. Nettie, welcome to the clerkdom. And treasurer.
Welcome back, right?
Yeah, welcome back.
I nominate Matt if he'll keep it.
I'll do it again unless
I'm good.
he wants it for the experience. All right.
If you want it,
It's always a pleasure doing this part of our meeting.
I work from home, so I can be here.
All right, so Matt, welcome to Treasury.
I think we'll
again.
need to actually vote on that whole. Was there a second?
Was there a second on that?
I'll second that.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, so yeah, let's do all in favor of all the positions that we just
Do you want to
outlined.
just summarize again, just for the, and then we could it would be probably one motion altogether, I think.
I move to approve Greg for president, Christy for vice president, Matt for treasurer, and Nettie for clerk.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the offices as spoken. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. The next item of business is approval of resignations/retirements.
Okay, got a couple of different things here. A couple of regular positions and a couple of like co-curricular things. So Kim Becker notified Mrs. Anderson and myself that about 3 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, that she's going to retire as our junior Warriors coordinator. So she'll be retiring effective at the end of the school year. And then we have a resignation from second grade teacher Emily Brandstad. She's accepted a position in another school district. And then we've got a couple co-curriculars. So Ryan Blanchard's resigning from his assistant football coaching position. And then another Blanchard, Carrie Blanchard, one of our secretaries, she does the concession stand coordination right now, and she's resigning from that position. So that's a smaller stipend. She gets to do that on the side. So those 4 resignations and retirements.
I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the resignations and the retirements.
second.
Been properly moved and seconded to accept our resignations. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item of business is our approval of our hires.
Okay, so it's always fun when we have more hires than resignations.
Yeah.
So we've had, not unanticipated, but we've had a fair amount of positions this year. So over the last 3 weeks or so, or going back a month, we've gone through the process and we have 5 new additions that'll be in our elementary school next year. And then we also just this last week hired a new junior senior high counselor for Mrs. Kaler's retirement. So I'll just run through them here. So we have Miss Becca Peterson. She'll be teaching in kindergarten, and she is a new graduate from, I can't remember the name of the university.
School in Iowa.
In northern Iowa, I can't remember. She's a native of Turtle Lake. And then we have Kaylia Hoyt. She's currently one of our paraprofessionals at the elementary. She's been going back to school and has gotten her teaching degree, and she's going to be taking a first grade position. And then we have Nicole Shane in fourth grade. And she comes to us with some experience from Colfax most recently. And prior to that, she worked in a private school in Menominee. So Nicole will be in fourth grade. We have Bailey Peterson, who will be a fifth grade teacher, ELA. Actually, the fourth, fifth, and sixth are ELA and social studies focused. But Bailey has been teaching in Amory the last couple of years. But she actually student taught in Clear Lake a couple of years ago. Used to sub with us too. She's also a native of Turtle Lake. And then in sixth grade, we have Tricia Smith. And she'll be, again, teaching ELA, and she's been teaching for the past couple of years in the Prairie Farm School District and lives in the area as well. And then we have, again, our junior senior high counselor, Kim Elwood. She has been working in Prairie Farm for the last couple of years. She worked in Siren prior to that as a school counselor, and she lives in our community too. So Kim Elwood. So yeah, so six hires that we're pleased to bring forward to the board.
Very good. I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the new hire.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to welcome these 6 people to our district. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. The next item of business is the approval of the next 2 are contracts. So we'll start with the approval of the teacher contracts. I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the teacher contracts for 2025, 2026.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the teacher contracts for 25-26. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. The next item of business is the approval of the support staff contracts for 25-26. I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the support staff contracts for 25-26.
I'll second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the support staff contracts. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. And then finally, the approval of our administrator contracts for 25-26. I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the administrator contracts for 25-26.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve our administrator contracts. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Yeah.
Motion passed.
Those are just just formal action required every year by the board to release those contracts. Particularly for the teachers, contracts need to be released no later than May 15th, so we'll get those into their hands this week. It just shows that they have employment for next year for them to sign and return by June 15th. The support staff and administrators don't have to be on that same timeline, but the teacher is the key one. So.
All right. Next item of business is the approval of the health insurance renewal for 25-26. Chris, you have a few notes you want to share about that.
Yeah. So, as discussed last month, the board tabled this to get a little bit more information. So we did put out the health insurance for bid this year through our broker, SF Insurance, and so Medica is our current carrier, and they did come back to us with a 0% increase. One of the other carriers did offer a slight decrease in rate, and the board discussed the merits of that last month. And we did, our broker did, through some more conversation, secure a little bit of not a little bit, but a discount from Medica as well. So what Medica would like to do, or what they're proposing, is to keep the rate, the premium rate would remain at 0% increase, so no change in the premium rate, effectively. However, they're offering a $10,000 wellness credit. So we had projected that if we had switched carriers, it would be about a $20,000 savings, and this would kind of meet halfway and allow the district to save some money. While we discussed there's pros and cons of staying the same and switching, and with our rates being 0 or actually reducing for about 3 of the last 4 years, we know that we are an aberration right now. We are beating the norm by quite a lot. So, there's always the tendency with our small group that we could swing back the other way and see a sizable increase. So there is, I believe, some advantage of sticking with a longer term relationship because they have that history with us, and they may, be more able to help us ride out a tough year or two if our rates go up. So the $10,000 wellness credit is an opportunity to kind of meet part way. And so my recommendation to the board for you guys to consider would be to remain with Medica. I think that would be the best strategy right now. So other questions or considerations?
I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve Medica for the 2025-2026 health insurance renewal.
I second that.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve Medica. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. The next item of business is the approval of the new 7th through 12th grade English Language Arts textbooks.
Okay, so I'll turn this over to Mr. Melberg in a second, but just some background. We had made efforts to, try to do a bunch of our curriculum purchases while we had that COVID money, and I can't remember the whole reasons why ELA didn't make sense last year. We weren't quite ready to do that. Mr. Melberg would probably explain that. But anyway, so we knew this was coming, and this is something we've been looking at since late last spring, summer. And you'll notice, and I'll let Mr. Melberg talk about the particulars of the program, or the process they use, I should say, but you'll notice I have a 3-year proposal and a 5-year proposal on there, and we can talk about that more once he goes through his thing. We can look at both of those.
So 2 years ago we were using HMH collections, and we found out late in the game that our license for that, they were no longer going to support it, and so we couldn't do the 1-year extension. Or if we wanted the 1-year extension, they were going to charge us way too much money to get it. And in order to do the full scope of the curriculum review and have it in the classrooms, to put it in last year, it was squeezed too tight. And so we decided that we'd get through 1 more year with what we had, and then we would use this entire year to do the whole review. So we worked with Teresa Stanley, who's our consultant for ELA at CISA, and she brought our 3 English teachers through the curriculum. She had a rubric that they used, and we looked at 3 different curriculums and ultimately landed on HMH into literature, which actually works out quite nice because that's what the elementary school purchased 2 years ago, a year ago.
We're in the first year right now.
So now 4, 5, 6, and it'll carry over 7, 8, and through the high school. So I think we ended up in a really good spot. It just took us a year to get there.
And yeah, the curriculum rubric is attached there too that they used. You'll notice that it's empty, but that's because when they worked on it, they wrote it in with handwritten. And so, and we didn't locate that. I'm not sure that because it was quite a while ago that they did it.
They weren't thinking about it, and I wasn't thinking about it at the time, so we don't have the actual written rubric.
Yeah, but you can see the criteria that was looked at, and like I said, Mrs. Stanley helped them with that. So the 3-year, 5-year, we've gone back and forth debating the different merits of it. The 5 years, $39,500, and the 3-year is I think $28,000. Scroll down, $28,500. Probably leaning towards the 3-year for a couple of reasons. Ultimately, because of the cost, and also things are changing so rapidly right now with curriculum, with so many things going on that in some ways it's nice to lock in for 5 years and know that you've got it and everything without change. But it's strange enough to say it almost feels like we're not sure that that's what we want to do at the high school level right now. But what I'd like to ask the board to possibly consider is maybe approve the 5-year. That way, if we get to the end of the school year and we're looking at our budget going, you know what, maybe this does make sense to go more, we could do that and give us the latitude to kind of make that decision. But leaning towards probably doing the 3-year, quite honestly, is probably what we would do.
I think I like that idea of 3-year versus 5-year too. It's so much has changed. I've been here for 3 years now, and I've seen so many changes on ELA over the last 3 years. Even it's just crazy. Doesn't seem like they ever make a decision that sticks either.
Yeah, with what the standards that come down, and honestly, stuff with artificial intelligence, I think, plays a role in that. How is that going to change in the next few years at this level? So, again, I think probably leaning towards, but I put them both on there.
Is any of the curriculum attached to any career-based stuff? Like getting students out of the school? And
Not for English language arts.
One thing for English that I'm aware of, that's going to be more in the CTE department.
Isn't it Huckleberry Finn that went down to Mississippi?
Yep.
Well, we got to do that when we were in grade school. Yeah, just kidding.
With all the hay.
So,
All right, well, I'm in agreement for the levity. I'll entertain a motion.
Are we making a motion for 3-year or 5-year? Because I'm kind of with Matt. I don't know that it's a good idea to lock in for 5.
And if you approve it,
Yeah.
I'm not even saying we're going to do that. I don't know if something happens in the next month where we think that's a great idea. But if you don't, I'm fine with the 3 too. I think I just put it on there. 3.
makes
3
sense.
is good.
3's fine.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah, whatever the
I'll
board-
entertain a motion for 3.
All right, I move to approve the new 7 to 12 grade English language arts textbooks for the proposal for the 3-year subscription.
I'll second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the 7th through 12th grade English language arts textbook 3-year contract. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion passes. Next on business is consideration/approval of ETS performance contract renewal. This has been a little bit of a hot subject in our district. I wonder if we shouldn't table this and talk about this in closed session. That be all right with you guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we do have a line on, we have an item on there for looking at purchase services for sure.
Yeah. All right, so then let's move on then to the review of the Fund 46 facilities plans and miscellaneous facility projects.
Okay, so I made a note on here that, we reviewed and updated the Fund 46 plan in January, so we didn't really need to do this right now, but we've done it the last few years, and I have had it on the strategic planning calendar to review it in May, so I thought, well, I just want to make sure we stick with that and not go off of it and seem willy-nilly with that. So, but I just thought it would be an opportunity to just say, hey, here's just a reminder of some of the, and we added some smaller things. So there's no plans right now to do any of those big projects that are listed on there. We don't honestly have the funds to do that, some of those really big ones, but those are longer. But some of the smaller things, again, some of the little electrical upgrades in the concessions at the high school, fixing up some EFS and mortar on some of the exterior finishes of both buildings, facility signage, and that's one that the stuff that's on the building, if you noticed that when you came in, that's been completed, and I think it turned out great. People noticed it. It was kind of funny. One of our bus drivers, the first day they installed it, and the bus drivers came over and they're lined up out front, and one of the bus drivers, there's a little chatter on the radio, were those letters always up there? So noticed it the first day. It was kind of funny. So, but then, and plans to, we're going to upgrade the sign out by the road. We're going to wait till the school year ends and do that.
The
press
thing
box.
that I would say that I see on this that, to me, that's little, that would be important is the handrails at the elementary with all the programs that go on
Yeah.
there
That's
with
why
older people.
those are
That's on the
done.
bill for it. It's on its
Okay.
way.
Yeah, the rails themselves have been manufactured by one of our local craftsmen. We just will need to install the collars on the bleachers this summer. So
Nice.
yep, so they'll be installed, and we got so both sides of the high school gym and then both sides of the elementary gym. So
I did see something
Yeah.
called the Soul Ensemble. Older people.
yeah, so
Picture anytime. Yeah.
so we got that is going there. So yeah, I just an opportunity to just kind of update. There's a few things that have been done. Mr. Osmond was out a little while on leave, so we'll be picking away at those things over the summer too. And so I threw one of the pictures on there of the high school sign that went up, and thought it turned out real nice. So a bunch of people commented on it and got a lot of positive comments on it, and people said, "Oh, it looks like it's always been there." And some people said, "Well, we should always have that up there." So anyway, happy how it turned out. So, And great idea from the board about putting the gymnasium sign on the backside, because with being in a new conference next year, I think that'll be really helpful with new schools coming here who aren't used to coming to Clear Lake.
Just even the little kids tournaments.
Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, nothing to approve there, just an update on that.
Okay, and then next item of business is discussion of our scoreboard replacement project and sponsorships sought.
Okay, so last month the board approved us to move forward with this project to replace our scoreboards in the district, and again, to emphasize, this would be funded by sponsorships with advertisers and not through district funds, 100%. And so this would be a new scoreboard on the football field, new scoreboards in the high school gym, and new scoreboards in the elementary gym. Baseball and softball would remain the same. Those are fairly new. Those don't need to be touched. But the ones at the elementary from 1991, the ones here at the high school 1997. So getting to the point where we really can't get replacement parts for them anymore. So what I wanted to just go through with you is what the nice thing that Daktronics does. The scoreboard company, there's an attachment there. You can see that they provide us with a slideshow that we will be able to use to help us with trying to partner with sponsors, to share this out with potential businesses around town in the area, to see who might be interested. And like I said, they help with putting together some of the information and the marketing, and it's very, very nicely done. Talks about the advantage of advertising in your school and people's perceptions about businesses that advertise at the school. You can see some of the mock-ups of some of the what the scoreboards would look like and what some of the advertising would look like.
So who in our district would do that, Chris?
So who will lead the charge of getting? So that it'll be Mr. Rosine, point person on it, with myself and Mr. Melberg assisting.
Okay.
So great question. And there won't be signage on the football scoreboard because they want to use the same poles that are out there, and they don't want to add more weight to that. But instead, the signage will be on the concession stand. There's one of the pictures in there on page 10.
Which probably gets more traffic.
Yeah, perhaps. Yep. And we can put some signage at the elementary as well on those scoreboards. And Greg's question is a good lead-in to the second document that's attached there is a very tentative, and I say this because Mr. Melberg, Mr. Rosine, and myself haven't even sat down in person to go over this and just kind of hash this out, but this is just a tentative timeline to kind of, so finalizing the concepts and design last week, and then getting an ad into the Chronicle or get some information in the Chronicle, letting people know about it, trying to send out some direct messages to businesses, and then also put it out on our webpage and our social media, letting businesses in the area know about the opportunity, and then also inviting into an in-person meeting, or offering a couple in-person meetings where businesses could come in and hear about it in person and see the presentation, and then see if they would be interested in purchasing. And so it's a 5-year, what we'll look for is a 5-year deal, 5-year commitment at $4,000 per year. That would get them advertising in all of those different places around the whole district. And then a couple of other smaller perks, like a couple free passes to the athletic events and a couple other smaller things like that. But so we're looking at into late May into June is when we would be trying to do those things. It's a pretty aggressive timeline. There's a lot going on right now, so it's a little hectic right now to do that. But if we want to get it up for the fall home events, it's a pretty aggressive timeline. The saving grace is we actually don't have our first home football game until the 3rd week, and we don't have any home volleyball games in the gym until a few weeks in too, so it gives us a little more time. But so I just wanted to get that out there to the board so you know about it, and to people who pay attention to the meetings, just to know that this is an effort that's going to be going on, and people can look for that and spread the word. So,
all right.
So if we fill these up, it looks like we got 6 spaces available.
Yep.
Can we add on, like smaller areas around like the football field or,
Yeah.
along fences
What,
or?
one of the things that was talked about was, we just don't know because we've not done this. We're kind of we kind of go back and forth, worried like, are we going to get enough people to even want to do it, or what if we get more than 6? Then what? Looking at what some other districts have done is they've included even as part of their package, like maybe some advertising in the program or things like that. And we kind of said, well, that's not a typical part of it, but we talked about maybe if we have more donors or more sponsors than we have spots, perhaps that's another. Maybe we do some ads in the program, or maybe we could look at ads on the baseball, softball fences, and just do that ourselves. Not aside from the Daktronics project, just do that ourselves. So now that we've kind of got a template for it and a look and a more of a program, I think that's something that we could look at.
Is this the presentation that's going to go out to businesses?
It's a draft, yeah.
Okay. You might want to highlight a men's sport along with the girls. Just
We
saying.
did not do that. That was-
I'm just saying it's very heavy female, and that's...
Well, it's also older. They pulled them off our.
Yeah.
I don't know which website because these are old pictures,
Yeah.
like from. a while
It's just the
back,
first
but-
thing I noticed. I'm like, you might want to highlight the boys and the girls.
Yeah, don't hear that too often.
No, but
Yeah. Mr. Rosine was really happy to have his giant picture on page
I know.
2
I'm
as
just
well.
I'm like, I don't know that he approved that.
Yeah.
And I feel like I would have moved it over just a little bit.
Yeah. I think he wanted to cover it up more, but anyway. So just wanted to kind of get the word out and
Yeah.
people get aware of it. So.
Right.
All right, then we'll move on then to the next item of business, which is reminding the board members to hand out diplomas and issue welcome commencements.
So yeah.
Daddy, just remember to go to graduation.
Nettie's not going to forget.
I'll be there if they forget. I'm coming.
When is it anyway? Do we have it?
Friday.
Friday night.
Yeah.
This Friday.
Greg, you're doing the welcome.
Yeah, you're doing the welcome.
That's why I thought I better
Does
put
she
it on
want
the
us at
calendar.
rehearsal?
It's fun to go to rehearsal.
Rehearsal.
You wouldn't have to be, but you're welcome.
You're welcome to come, but yeah, you don't need it. But yeah, we'll do. So yeah, Nettie's handing out diplomas. Greg is doing the quick welcome at the beginning, and
Fortunately, I won't be.
7 o'clock
I'm
on
going to
Friday.
text you at
Be there
6
by
o'clock and say,
6:45
Greg, are you
Larry won't let me
ready to
forget.
shower?
And then, yeah, rehearsal is Friday morning at like 9 o'clock after they do the walk at the elementary.
8:30. We'll start. but
8:30.
You don't need to.
But you don't have to come to rehearsal. It's just if you want to, you're certainly welcome to. But
It's fun. And if you can get Mrs. Hughes to yell at you, then you did your job.
You have a strange idea of fun.
I
think
do.
This is cool.
Okay.
All good.
Next item of business then are our second reading of our board policies. I'm going to read through them and then we'll entertain a motion since we've gone through them already, right?
I don't believe there
Yeah,
were any
we didn't have any
questions on
questions.
these. These were pretty interesting, scintillating ones. That's sarcasm there.
Fun reading. All right, so second reading of the following new or updated board policies: 3440, 4440, 5411, 6110, 6111, 6112, 6114, 6325, 7310, 7550.
74.
74.
Yep, 7450, thanks you guys, and 8550. I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the board policies just listed.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the new policies and the updates. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion passes. The next item is our superintendent notes, Mr. Chris Peterson.
Going through. So just to, we had Earth Day was delayed today at the high school. So elementary was one day, high school was the next. Both buildings had a great, successful day. I ended up pairing well with a scheduled speaker. We had an assembly on Wednesday at the high school. Mr. Corey Greenwood, who's from, I can't remember the town in Minnesota, but he really engaging and really energetic, and just his whole message is about resilience, and he talked about some of his own story, as a young person and as an adult. Just talked about his message of supporting each other in school, making school a kind, caring place, looking out for each other, and just, you matter, your story matters was his theme. And I thought it was one of the more engaging presentations we've had, and we haven't had one in a while like that, and it was really good. It was a good fit. So that was funded with donations from the Polk County Mental Health Task Force. They gave us that after the annual suicide walk that they had last fall. We got a donation from them, and over the years, we know Alfalfa Fest has donated us funds over time, and so they have always said do it for something for students, and so we thought this was a great use of those funds. So elementary had a big week with their talent show a week ago or 2 weeks. That was just last week, wasn't it? Or was it two Fridays ago? Yeah, 2 Fridays ago. Talent show, PTO bingo night. At the high school, we've had music stuff going on, state solo and ensemble. We had a number of kids compete at state in Eau Claire and scored well at first and seconds. We had staff appreciation week last week. I want to say a thank you to the Clear Lake PTO for providing a meal in both buildings on Wednesday. Huge thank you as well to Pillar Bank and Kate's Coffee Coop. They provided a free coffee to every staff member last week to be redeemed down at her shop, or they brought the truck on site Friday and staff could go get coffee there. That was pretty cool. They've done that now for a couple of years in a row. District did some things for the staff as well, but we said we hope that our best way we show our appreciation for our staff is just making this a good place to be and positive culture and a good place to work, and showing support to people year-round, I think, is the best way we show our appreciation too. So spring sports rolling along. We got postseason coming up for all the seasons here very soon. We got, again, the Pops concerts tonight for juniors, senior high, for band and choir. This Thursday we host the middle school conference track meet. Elementary track and field is Wednesday this week. And of course, the big things this week, we've got senior awards night and baccalaureate on Wednesday, and then we've got graduation on Friday night. Both of those events are at 7 o'clock. After graduation happens, we'll have some other normal spring things. Sixth graders come on over for a visit and get some orientation about the building and a tour. Kindergarten graduation's always that Friday before Memorial Weekend. We've just been real busy with hiring, as you've seen. We've all kind of felt like, man, we've just been, what's going on these last few weeks? Just can't get ahead. Or look back, it's like, well, yeah, we've been doing a lot of hiring. It's been taking a lot of time, but that's exciting, and it's some of the most important work we do. So, our results will be coming in for our school perception surveys. So, we'll be looking at those and breaking those down. Working a lot on our budget orders for next year, and I know that our June meeting, just looking ahead, we'll look at our balanced scorecards. It's been a few months now, it's kind of a break from that, but we'll have some year-end stuff for our scorecards for our strategic plan coming up here at the next meeting in June. So that's kind of some highlights right there. Not everything certainly, but some highlights.
Right on. Okay, well then our next item, thank you, Chris. Our next item of business is then our contemplated closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 19.85 paragraph 1C and 19.85 paragraph 1E. The board will discuss staffing and staff compensation, and the board will deliberate or negotiate the purchase of services. So I'll pull the board. Eddie?
Yes.
Corey?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Christy?
Yep.
Matthew?
Yes.
All right. We're all present. Hey, thank you.
Thanks, Eve.
Night, Eve.
Okay, there we go.
All right, we are back in open session, so we're gonna look for a motion for consideration or approval of ETS performance contract renewal.
I'll make the motion to approve ETS contract renewal.
All right, do I have a second?
A second?
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. And we are up to future agenda items.
I know that you guys met with those businesses, and so I'd just like to hear an update on how that went, and
Yeah.
that's part of our...
Talked about that just today, having a spotlight on Ed to cover that. Yep, for
Okay.
sure. That was really cool.
Anything else? Okay. And motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Second?
All right, properly moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, meeting adjourned.
All right, thanks, everybody.